Hey friends, welcome back to the channel guys. In this video, we're going to be going through three money habits which you have to start practicing today to become wealthy in your life. And these are absolute essential if you want to accumulate wealth. Alright, so three money habits to become wealthy and accumulate wealth. To become wealthy and accumulate wealth. So this video is going to be very important because I got this knowledge from reading a lot of books, especially the two books which have the most impact on me, which is Psychology of Money and The Richest Man in Babylon. And by the way guys, you can watch this video and get the main points, but I would highly recommend you to go order these books on Amazon and start reading them right away, because the way they are written will have a profound impact on your psychology, and there will be fundamental changes happening there which I'm not sure this video alone will do justice, but you will definitely get the main points, right? So the main thing I want you to understand is, when you start to become wealthy is when you start, and this is, by the way guys, is for the people who are in jobs, who are basically struggling with their finances and yet they want financial freedom after serving for some time in their job, right? So the first thing is, pay yourself first, right? And most people, let me rewrite this properly. Pay yourself first. So most people know about this rule, but they don't actually practice this. So what does that mean? Does this mean? It actually means that you have to pay yourself, which is you, first from your paycheck. So let's say, for example, if you're getting a paycheck of 100,000, which is 1 lakh, right? And if you pay yourself 20%, which is 20,000 rupees, 20k, then your remaining salary is 80k, right? So as soon as you get this salary, the first thing you have to do before paying anything, before paying your cook, before paying your landowner or your landlord, before paying your wife, before paying your kids, before paying anybody else, before paying your grocery shop for buying groceries, etc., right? Before paying your electricity, you have to pay yourself first, right? So you have to pay this 20,000 rupees to yourself and invest it into a investment asset, which can be a mutual fund, which can be an index fund, and I've covered a lot of these in my channel. Go and check those videos out guys, how to invest in mutual funds and how to invest in index funds, right? So you have to start doing this right away, paying yourself first. And I learned this in the book called The Richest Man in Babylon, where there was this guy who wanted to become rich. So he went to a mentor, and the mentor told him the way to accumulate the most coins is start paying yourself first, from whatever salary you're getting at the beginning of the month. So that is a concept I got from there, and it's a must read book guys, The Richest Man in Babylon. It is so simple, but it is so profound, the kind of impact that book has. And after that, you'll start learning everything else in life, right? So this is the first thing I want you to take away, which is paying yourself first. The second thing is, you have to use credit cards to your advantage, right? Now, what do I mean by this? So people mostly use credit cards to their disadvantage, but how can you use credit cards to your advantage, right? So if you're able to use your credit card like your debit card, right, then you can actually use the credit cards to your advantage. How will this happen? If you avoid buying luxury on credit cards, and whatever you're anyway pay through your credit cards, and if you use some specific credit cards, you'll get something called as points on your spends, right? And depending on the credit card, you can use these points for different things. For example, I use my points for basically taking care of my vacations completely. So whatever money I'm spending on my credit cards, out of this, an average of 10 to 15% I'm getting as returns, overall, based on my spends which I'll do on travel. So I use two credit cards, which is Amex Travel and Access Atlas. Right? This costs me around 3,000 rupees, and this costs me around 5,000 rupees. Right? But what happens is that when I spend money through these credit cards, close to around 20 lakhs in a year, I get I'm able to get as many points which can cover my 4 flights and 4 night stays in 5 stars, which is Taj and Marriott. Right? So on an average, I'm able to get a 10 to 15% return on the money I'm spending through credit cards. This is using credit cards to your advantage. Now, how most people use credit cards? They use them to buy luxury. So what will they do? They cannot afford a phone right away, an iPhone 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, whatever is coming new, and they put it on their credit card with an EMI. And if they are somehow able to default the EMI, they get a 22% average penalty, which gets compounded. So if they fail to pay this 22% again, let's say you have 100 rupees of credit, you get a penalty of 22%. If you default, then next month you pay 22% on this 22%. So this is negative compounding happening, and they are in this negative loop, which becomes bigger, right? So they will basically have to declare bankruptcy at some time, right? So never buy luxury on credit card. Never do that. Always use credit cards like a debit card, right? Use and put it on automatic deduction from your bank account, right, to your salary account. What I do even better is I always load money in my credit card. So for example, my monthly spend is 1.5 lakhs. So at the beginning of every month, I will load 1.5 lakhs into my credit card, and then use it until the balance becomes zero, right? Then again I load 1.5 lakhs. So I'm using my credit card as my debit card, and this is the second thing which you have to start using immediately if you want to generate wealth, right? So instead of this negative spiral, you have to have a positive spiral. You have to have the compounding work in your favor. This 22% you should be getting through mutual funds or your investment portfolio to compound your wealth, right? So start doing this, guys, right away. And the third thing which you have to start, the third habit which you have to start practicing right away is having an exact idea of what your expenses look like at the end of every month, right? So you have to make an Excel sheet, and in that Excel sheet you have to have 4 columns. The first column is how much income you're getting from different sources. For example, you have a salary from which you're getting an income. You have a business, for example, a KDP business or any other business from which you're getting the income, second source of income. You're getting some rent, you're getting some returns, right, monthly. You're getting some dividends every month from your investment portfolio. You have to write all that income. Then you have to write expenses. Then you have to write your investments, right? And there's a miscellaneous column just in case, right? So when you do this, you'll list on all the expenses you're having, right? And once you note down all the expenses which are going in your credit card, debit card, whatever, or something which you've noted, you'll see there are a lot of subscriptions over here which you don't need. Subscriptions to websites, subscriptions to things which you don't even need. You can right away cut them off and start investing them in your investments rather, right? Which will have positive compounding, right? Instead of this negative compounding which is happening here, as a result of burden on your credit card, right? So start making a list. Start being mindful of what you are investing every month, right? So that you have income sufficient to invest which will go over here, how you're managing your wealth. And there's a great saying in a lot of personal development books that wherever your focus goes, energy flows. Right? Wherever your focus goes, energy flows. So if you focus here on your investment, like if you check your portfolio, I'm not saying you just sell and buy every month, but that is not what I'm teaching. But if you just look at your portfolio every month and see it increase, right? Or just be mindful of your investments, your investment basket will increase, right? Because your brain will be more focused upon accumulating assets. So these are the three things, three habits which I would highly recommend you to start practicing right away. These are the must haves. There are a few others which you should which I could have covered in this video, but these are the absolute must. And many people know about this, but nobody, believe me guys, in my friend circle I know nobody actually does it. It looks easy, but the real treasure is in the simple things, right? It's in an investment which gives you consistent returns, which is boring. Likewise, these simple things like paying yourself first, what does it actually mean? It means payment to you from your first paycheck. Okay, using credit cards to your advantage, never using them for luxury, using them for as debit cards to accumulate points, which can be then used for whatever purpose. It can be converted to cashback, it can be converted to money, or it can be converted to travel points, right? And I can make a detailed video on credit cards if you, by the way, want to cover what I use and how I use my credit cards for, right? And how am I able to generate free tickets. The third, always be mindful of your expenses. It's so simple. Like, you have to maintain an Excel sheet, and in that you have to keep changing the months. Every month just copy paste the same thing, and be aware that where your expenses are going, how your investment portfolio is growing, right? So these are simple things. So I hope you liked the video, guys. If you liked it, do give it a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And I'll see you again in my next video. Till then, take care, bye, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.